Hey everyone, thank you all for joining today's session. The topic for today's webinar is Unified Incident Management, where we'll be talking about the merits of combined on-call and incident response. This webinar is brought to you by Squadcast. We are a reliability workflow platform that enables the easiest on-call with SRE. All right, moving on to the next slide. Uh, okay, so a quick look at today's agenda. We'll start with the impact of on-call and incident response strategies on modern-day businesses, and we'll also take a quick look at how better collaboration and better context can help on-call teams address and resolve incidents efficiently. We'll also take a look at how businesses can leverage automation to achieve faster resolutions, consistent uptimes, as well as prevent future incidents. And finally, we'll close the session with a quick look into Squadcast reliability automation platform and how we help businesses simplify incident management. I'm joined today by Ibrahim, who's a product advocate at Squadcast, as well as Aditya, who's a solutions engineer. My name's Rahul. I'm a PMM at Squadcast, and I'll be your host for this session. All right. Okay, so before we get started with the session, let's take a quick look at some of the major outages that we've seen in the news recently. Microsoft Teams, they've had a few outages this year, the most recent one being in the North American region. Sky Broadband went down for almost an hour in the UK, and tens of thousands of users reported internet problems. Moneris network in Canada saw widespread disruption of their credit and debit card payments. And United Airlines in the US had to delay all flights nationwide following a ground stop due to equipment outage, which was reportedly due to a software update. Now, it's interesting that these outages were all from just this past month. So outages continue to be a fairly major concern for global product and service providers. Now, let's also take a quick look at the impact outages tend to have on user experiences. It's reported that 1 second of delay in page load can cause a 7% loss in customers. And it takes about 12 positive user experiences to make up for just one unresolved uh, negative experience. Also, 88% of web visitors say that they are less likely to return to a site after just one bad experience. In terms of where businesses stand today, in terms of how they resolve incidents, it takes businesses anywhere between 1 to 8 hours to resolve an issue. And the cost of downtime can range anywhere between $10,000 to an hour to a staggering $5 million an hour. Now, considering the substantial, fairly serious impacts on a business, as per Atlassian's latest report, more than 56% of businesses worldwide have started choosing proactive incident management this year. Right, moving on. Let's also take a quick look at challenges with existing incident management methods. The first challenge being operational complexity. Now, as technology and tech environments in an organization become increasingly intricate, managing incidents can become fairly complicated. And fragmented service ownership and tools sprawl as well can leave teams grappling with multiple systems that don't always seem to work together. Manual on-call scheduling as well as rigid schedules can hinder the accuracy and swiftness of your response teams and can be time-consuming as well as prone to errors. Lack of automation is a fairly common challenge as well, especially since the market is rapidly influenced by the tools and capabilities market leaders and competitors are adopting. Relying on manual notifications and escalations can not only cause delays, but the added risk of human error can complicate things further as well. Without automation, triaging incidents and routing them to the right individual or even teams can be a cumbersome process. And excessive alert noise can overwhelm teams, making it challenging to identify and prioritize critical incidents, leading to alert fatigue as well as exhausting workloads. Manual documentation processes can result in incomplete or inaccurate incident records, hindering post-incident analysis and your ability to learn from incidents as well. Poor collaboration is something that we hear about quite often from our clients as well. Inefficient communication channels can hinder the collaboration needed for your teams to quickly resolve incidents and work together. Uh, and without a centralized incident management platform, it's often difficult to establish a single source of truth for incident information. Silo teams and a lack of standard collaboration procedures as well can create obstacles for teams to work together. And especially when incidents occur, clear and timely communication is extremely vital. And the risk of breakdown in communication can lead to missteps and business impacting disruptions. And finally, inadequate visibility. So this is something that's to do with communicating with stakeholders as well as with access to data. Without establishing and monitoring proper metrics, it can be quite unclear to gauge the effectiveness of your incidents response efforts over time, as well as and for you to make data-driven improvements as well. Not having or inadequate RCA practices can leave organizations quite vulnerable to recurrences, and the scattering of incident information across various platforms can lead to incomplete context and slow down response efforts. Finally, without proper communication with stakeholders about the occurrence of incidents and their remediation as well, it's very difficult to set and manage expectations properly. Now, having looked at the challenges in the next section, let's quickly take a look at how Squadcast addresses these operational hurdles through a unified approach to incident management. And I'd like to hand over to Ibrahim to cover this section.
Hey, thanks, Rahul. Hello, everyone. I appreciate your presence in today's discussion. I'm Ibrahim, part of the Squadcast success team. So, today we are discussing on call management and incident response, which are essential aspects for product and service oriented folks. On call means having specific people available at specific time to tackle service issues. Today's incident response lifecycle is plagued by a variety of challenges. Currently, reliability workflows are inefficient due to the use of multiple tools and manual processes to make them work. Hence, a lot of time is getting wasted to resolve issues quickly, leading to slow resolution and too much time spent on incident management. Let's see how Squadcast can help you address these problems and streamline on call alerting and incident response. A quick intro of who we are. Squadcast is an integrated reliability workflow solution that seamlessly integrates on call alerting, incident management, and SRE workflows. In other words, we are all that you need regarding incidents. Moving on to the next slide, we'll discuss about where we are heading with Squadcast. The Squadcast platform contains three distinct paths: the building blocks, workflows, and continuous learning. The building blocks are the core features which are further divided into three distinct areas: SLOs, that is service level objectives, on call, and incident management. Now, let's see how they will work with our workflows and AIML. So, when an incident is triggered, we follow the on call process, and once the incident is acknowledged, the incident management process starts. Everything that you see in the middle of this slide is solid, but we are aiming to deepen our product capabilities above and below that. What you see below is automate with workflows. What it does is it ties together different tasks like creating the right channel and adding the right responders to work on that incidents or runbook attachment, or automatically pulling in all the context for creating postmortems and status page updates to keep internal and external stakeholders in the loop. It's rule driven, so it can take automatic actions without human intervention day or night. The third critical leg of the platform is to enable continuous learning with features such as past and related incidents, which provide feedback and guidance based on prior data and actions. So, all the work that we are doing collects a wealth of data on incidents, like the actions you take, postmortems you create, run books you attach, status page you update. And we are feeding this into an ML engine for continuous feedback and learning from your past incidents. For instance, if your current incidents looks a lot like what Aditya handled 3 months ago, we'll suggest similar actions for a faster resolutions like what runbooks were attached or other responders who also participated. any postmortems that were created, or if any public or private status page that was updated. All the data and actions across customer is also anonymized and provided as a template to help you see what others have done, like with suggestions such as other companies with similar setup have these following rules. So these AI and ML features are aimed at making your incident flow smooth. Now, moving on, we'll see here's how we can level up your incident response, the single platform approach. To begin with, you can create and manage on call schedules with ease. Like, if required, switch things around anytime, especially when dealing with different time zones, widespread teams, and many other factors. Also, it is important to send the right alerts to the right people at the right time. This would ensure that there is very minimal business impact when incidents happen. So, like after an incident reaches the right people, if details like severity, priority, impact are easily available on the incident, the turnaround time is exponentially reduced. And Squadcast enables you to add this information automatically. Isn't that great? Moreover, it also provides a central platform for teams to collaborate and communicate during incident response. So, our integrations with some popular chat op tools like Slack, Microsoft Teams streamline communication process for a quicker response. And did you know Squadcast also allows you to create runbooks within the application and integrate them with your chat op tools? And last but not the least, Squadcast provides reports and analytics on incidents response metrics such as time to resolution, mean time to acknowledge, which helps teams to identify areas where they can improve the incident process. In the long run, if we have more visibility or insights on the past data, we can definitely make it useful for the future. Now, moving on, if we see the following slide, it shows how organizations using Squadcast have saved their time, money, and improved their process. Mean time to resolve drastically improved. $100,000 saved per year per customer. That's some serious cash right there. Over 1,000 hours saved per customer. That's almost 42 days. Impressive, right? And extra $1,000 saved. So we can't overlook that productivity boost. So, to summarize what we just went through, Squadcast is the only integrated platform that unites on call alerting and incident management along with SRE workflows all under one roof. So, that's me at the end of my talk. I'll now hand it over to Aditya, who is a solutions engineer, and he will walk you through the platform. Over to you, Aditya.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Hi, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining in today. Let's start immediately. So, one of the most common difficulties that I've seen people face while setting up an on call management process is setting up a proper schedule. You might be having people working from across the globe in different time zones or have complex rotations such as business hours, non business hours, custom rotation, etc. Our schedules feature will easily help you in configuring all of your complex schedules. You can create multiple types of schedules here, such as schedule for a specific team, or even layered schedules such as secondary, primary, or even common business use cases such as business hours, 24/7 schedule, etc. You can also configure all of these schedules in your own time zones as well. Once you create the schedules, you can add the team members here according to the chronological order in which you would like to rotate their shifts. In this particular example, this schedule is from Monday to Friday from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. So it's a non-business hours schedule and it's rotating daily. You can also rotate the schedules daily, weekly, monthly, or based on a custom rotation. So in this particular example, first day Charlie would be on call, second day Jesse would be on call, and so on and so forth. It would be rotating amongst the team members that you had here. In cases where your team members are not able to make it to a shift or they are on vacation or sick, they can actually override a particular schedule. They can come to this section, click on the particular shift. They can override, choose a start date, end date, start time, and end time. Choose the reason why they're not able to make it to that shift, and they can assign it to a proxy user so that the schedule would be overridden. It's as simple as that. The platform would also be sending automatic on-call reminder notifications to all of your engineers as well whenever their schedule is up. You can also export the schedule and sync it with your own Outlook, iCal, Google Calendar, etc. from here. Now, once you've configured all of the schedules here, You can assign these schedules to escalation policies so that your users will be notified. Now, escalation policies would determine who, when, and how to notify when an incident is triggered here in Squadcast. I have already created an escalation policy here, and you can see several layers of escalation within that policy. In the initial layer, I've set it up as escalate after 0 minute. So immediately after the incident is triggered, it would check who's on call in the primary schedule and notify them via email and push notification. Now, if by chance they have missed out a notification, it'll move on to the second layer. Here I've mentioned 5 minutes. It'll check who's on call in the secondary schedule and the stakeholder squad and notify all of them via SMS and phone. This way, you can create multiple layers of escalation within an escalation policy by adding multiple layers of rules. In the rules, you can mention when to escalate, whom to escalate it to from a particular user, squad, or schedule, and choose how to notify the users between SMS, email, phone, and push notification. Push notification is through our native mobile app, which is available on both iOS and Android stores. You can also give the users the ability to choose how they would like to be notified as well. You can change the notification rules to personal, and they can set this up in their own profile. You can also use round robin assignment to distribute incidents equitably between your team members, or you can add additional configurations such as to repeat a single layer if the incident is not acknowledged after a certain period of time, or repeat the whole policy from start to bottom if it's not been acknowledged after a certain period of time as well. You can even send acknowledgement reminders. For example, if your engineers have actually acknowledged a particular incident and has not resolved it in maybe 2 hours, you can send them a reminder again via push, email, SMS, and phone. You can also have additional reminders as well. We even have the option to re-trigger the whole incident again if it's not been acknowledged or resolved after a certain period of time as well. This way, you can create multiple escalation policies here based on multiple escalation paths, such as high priority escalation, low priority escalation, even escalation policies for certain services and incidents that you have. This would make sure that no notifications would be missed by your users when an incident is triggered. Once you create the escalation policies, you can replicate your service infrastructure here in our service section and integrate our monitoring tools here. Once you've integrated the monitoring tools, the alerts would start coming into Squadcast. Now, if you would like to categorize these alerts based on severity, priority, alert type, etc., you can use our tagging automation. For example, if you would like to prioritize high priority incidents as P1 automatically, you can create a rule, choose the monitoring tool that you've integrated with. You can see the payload from the latest incident here, and based on the payload variables, you can add conditions. In this example, I have said if the severity variable in the payload is not equal to warning, assign the priority tag as P1. Now, whenever an alert hits Squadcast, if this condition validates, it will assign the tag priority as P1 automatically. Now, based on the tags that are assigned, you can also route the incidents intelligently as well. For example, if you would like to route the high priority P1 incidents to your high priority escalation, you can create a rule. Here I've mentioned if the priority tag is P1, route it to high priority escalation. So what it does is it would bypass the default escalation policy and route it to the high priority escalation based on the priority of the incident. You can also club similar incidents together or correlate between alerts using our key-based deduplication, similar to how you've configured the earlier rules. Choose the monitoring tool, and based on the payload variables, you can add keys here and specify a time period. In this particular example, I've said if the namespace variable in the incidents are cube system, and if it's within a 24-hour time period, group all of these incidents together. You can also suppress irrelevant alerts using our suppression automation. For example, if you might be receiving success messages or warning messages, which you would not want to be woken up in the middle of the night for. In those cases, you can create a rule. Similar to the previous rules, based on the payload variables, you can add conditions. Here I've said if the priority is low and if the source is from Prometheus, suppress the incident. So whenever an alert hits Squadcast, if these condition validates, it would suppress the incidents and your engineers wouldn't be notified about them. These would also be non-actionable as well. Now, once you've integrated your monitoring tools and added the relevant automation tools, only relevant alerts would start coming into Squadcast and they would be listed inside the incident list. Based on the escalation policy that is assigned, your engineers would be notified. In addition to these notifications, You can integrate your Slack, Teams, or Google Chat workspace here. For example, if you have integrated with Slack, you'll receive incident notifications on Slack channel. You can see your engineers would be able to acknowledge, resolve, reassign, add notes, take basic incident actions from within the Slack channel itself. So you can do basic incident management from within your ChatOps tools as well. All right. Now consider you are an engineer and you got a notification about an incident. You'll either look up this incident on your mobile app, which will have all of the incident details, or you'll acknowledge the incident on your ChatOps tool, or you'll come to Squadcast UI to work on it. You'll have more details such as the description, the payload that has come up from the incident, the title, the tags that are assigned automatically, even the past related incidents, which would be listed here. Now, after an initial triage, you'll acknowledge an incident. So it would stop the escalation policy from sending notifications to further engineers in the queue, and it would also assign the particular incident to yourself. You can also see the notification logs here, which would list out all of the notifications that has been sent for this particular incident. This can also be exported. To have a more collaborative approach, we have the notes section, which can act as a chat channel within the incident. So if you'd like to bring in help from your teammates or even keep your stakeholders notified, you can mention people here, even a particular squad, and send them a message. This would notify them via email and push notification. And whomever you have mentioned here would be added as incident watches. So whatever updates are there about the incident, they'll be kept notified. If you find an important message inside the notes section, you can star that message, which will be recorded inside the activity timeline. You can also attach pre-created runbooks into the incident from the runbook section. So once you attach the runbook, it would list out the steps, and your engineers can actually mark the steps that they have done in resolving the particular step incident. And this would also be recorded inside the activity timeline. Your engineers would even be able to record custom tasks that they have done in resolving the incident. They can record it here, for example. And once they've added it here, it will be recorded inside the activity timeline. In fact, all of the activities that you do on the particular incident would be recorded inside the activity timeline, which can be exported as a PDF or a CSV file. Now, once you're done resolving the incident, you can click on resolve. This would change the status of the incident to resolved, and the platform would automatically calculate the time to acknowledge and time to resolve here. If it's like a critical incident, you can do root cause analysis for this incident here by creating a postmortem report. You can click on start postmortem. This would auto-fill the template that you've already created. It would fetch the incident details automatically from the incident. It would even have the details from the activity timeline, so you would know what were the steps that you've done in resolving the incident. If you would like to add more details here, you can click on edit. This supports Markdown. And once you're done editing it, you can click on create. This would create the postmortem within 1 to 2 clicks. You can always view the postmortem later on, or you can download it as a PDF or a Markdown. Now, all of the postmortems that you've created on the platform would be available inside the postmortem section, which can act as a knowledge base for our engineers later on. When a similar incident has come up, they can do a tool-wide search and see what were the steps that they have done in resolving that particular incident. I have shown you how to leverage Squadcast for a basic on-call and incident management process. In addition to these features, we have features that can keep track of your SLOs, create outgoing webhooks to take automatic remediation action, publish status pages, show analytics, etc. You can get in touch with us for a personalized demo, and we can show you the full capabilities of the platform. You can also refer to our previous webinars on SLO tracker, mobile app, and status page to have more details about these. With this, we have come to the end of the demo. I'll hand it over to you, Rahul.
Thanks, Aditya. All right. Thank you, Aditya, for the demo. And I hope all our attendees were able to get some valuable insights about incident management and how Squadcast leverages reliability automation to improve processes. As Aditya mentioned, if our attendees would like to find out more about our Squadcast reliability automation platform, you can follow the link we've just posted in chat. And yes, I believe we have some time to spare for a Q&A round as well. We've just opened the Q&A panel. I invite our attendees to post any questions they might want to ask our panelists. All right, let's just give everybody a couple of minutes to post their questions. Okay, I can see the first question coming in. This one's about scalability. What levels of scalability does Squadcast offer, particularly for large enterprises with extensive incident management needs? Uh, Ibrahim, perhaps you want to take this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are an enterprise fit platform with offerings such as single sign-on, world-class support, as most of you guys are aware of, and customizable roles-based access control, multi-team support, encryption, and Terraform's webhooks, APIs to configure and customize your incident flow, and flexibility data residency as well.
Great, great. Thanks, Ibrahim. Okay, all right. I can see a couple more questions. Okay, so the next one is about what capabilities Podcast offers for global teams that need to manage on-call schedules distributed across multiple time zones. Aditya, do you want to take this one?
Sure, definitely. So in Squadcast, you can create schedules in different time zones. For example, if you are following a follow the sun model for scheduling, you can have users in different time zones such as APAC, EMEA, American region, etc. So what you can do is create different schedules here for these different regions in their own time zones for business hours. And while you're creating an escalation policies, you can add all of these schedules together. So you'll have a 24-hour coverage. I hope this answers this question.
Okay, thanks, Aditya. Okay, we have a few more questions. All right. The next one is how does Quadcast routing work exactly? Can you explain the routing logic for different types of incidents and priorities? Aditya, I think this one
All right.
would be a question for you as well.
Yep, that's a great question. All right. So all incidents that come into Squadcast would be assigned to a default escalation policy so that you can make sure that all the incidents would notify a particular user. Now we have automation and tagging rules, which can help you in routing incidents intelligently. So tagging rule would help you in categorizing the incidents based on priority, severity, even alert type. Now, based on the tags that are assigned, you can use the routing rule to route the incidents intelligently. For example, if you have high priority incidents, you can tag it P1. Then, based on the tag, you can route it to a high priority escalation. I hope that answers the question.
Great. Thanks, Aditya. Okay, I think I can see one more question. For organizations with fairly complex IT environments, can Squadcards be integrated with existing monitoring and alerting tools? And what is the process for setting up these integrations? Ibrahim, do you want to take this?
Yeah, sure. So Squadcast integrates with more than 150 monitoring, observability, and alerting tools. And apart from that, we also support generic and webhook integrations, which would be supported by most of the tools out there. So, we can also quickly build a native integration with most of the tools, and that makes Squadcast flexible. We also have a step-by-step documentation for setting up these integrations, and you can view them at support.squadcast.com. So, hope that works.
Great. Thank you, Ibrahim. Okay, I think those are all the questions we have today. Please feel free to add any more questions any of our attendees have. Okay, all right. I think those are all the questions we have for today. All right. Once again, I would like to thank all our attendees for joining us today. And I'd like to once again remind you all that if you'd like to look at a detailed demo of Squadcast, you can follow the link in the chat to sign up for a personalized demo. We'll also be sending you a demo link along with the recording that we'll send you via email by tomorrow. So thank you everybody for joining us today. We are also offering a 2 week free trial on our platform. And as mentioned before, the recording will be sent to you tomorrow. Squadcast holds monthly sessions for everything related to SRE and incident management, and we hope to see you all in our future sessions as well. Thank you, everybody, and hope you all have a great day.